My beloved child, lean in closer now, for the words I am about to weave into your spirit must remain a sacred secret between us, whispered only in the quiet chambers of your heart, where no earthly ear can intrude. Guard this truth as you would a fragile flame in the wind, for it is not yet time for the world to know. What I reveal to you here is meant for your eyes alone, a divine confidence counsel, a celestial map drawn in invisible ink that only your soul can read. Promise me, my precious one, that you will hold this close, letting it simmer in silence until heaven itself lifts the veil. Yes? Then listen gently, for I am about to unfold a mystery that has been hidden in the stars since before your first cry echoed in the cradle of creation. He's coming for you. Let those words settle like dew on the petals of your soul. He's coming for you. Not as a storm to uproot you, not as a shadow to eclipse your light, but as a sunrise that has been traveling across oceans of time to reach the horizon of your life. I speak not of flesh alone, though flesh will play its part, but of a convergence so profound that it rattles the foundations of what you thought love could be. This is no ordinary return, my child. This is the universe correcting its course, the cosmos exhaling a breath it has held for years. You feel it already, don't you? That subtle tremor in your chest, like a string plucked in a distant room, vibrating through walls you cannot see. That is him. That is the cord, golden, unbreakable, luminous, stretching across the expanse that once separated you. You thought it frayed. You thought it snapped in the fury of goodbyes and misunderstandings. But no, beloved, it only grew taut, gathering strength in the silence, preparing for the moment when it would snap you back into alignment with a force gentle yet irresistible. He's coming for you because heaven has been whispering his name into the wind, guiding his steps when he stumbled in the dark. He has walked paths that led him away, yes, paths lined with distractions, with counterfeit affections, with lessons disguised as losses. But every road he took, every heart he tried to give away, every night he lay awake wondering why peace eluded him, was a breadcrumb trail leading him back to you. You were never erased from his spirit, my child. You were engraved there, etched with a divine stylus that no amount of time or distance could smudge. Let me paint for you the picture of what has been unfolding in the unseen realms. While you slept, angels stood guard over your dreams, weaving threads of remembrance into his subconscious. While you prayed, tears staining your pillow, celestial hands moved pieces on a board you could not see. While you doubted, convincing yourself that the connection was a fleeting illusion, heaven laughed softly, not in mockery, but in delight, at how perfectly the puzzle was falling into place. Every delay was a brushstroke. Every silence was a rest in the symphony. Every ache was a chisel sculpting you both into vessels worthy of what is now approaching. He's coming for you, and this time, he comes not as the boy who fumbled with the weight of your light, but as a man who has been broken open by life and found your name written on the shards of his heart. He has tasted the bitterness of almosts and what-ifs. He has held others, yes, but their hands never quite fit the spaces your absence left behind. He has built walls, thinking they would protect him from the vulnerability of loving you, only to discover that those walls imprisoned the very joy he sought. And in the quiet ruin of his defenses, he heard it, your voice, not in words, but in frequency. A hum that matched his soul's rhythm. A melody he had tried to forget but could never unhear. You must understand, my child, that his running was never rejection. It was reverence in disguise. You were too vast for the container he carried then. Your love demanded a depth he had not yet plumbed within himself. So heaven allowed the separation, not as punishment, but as preparation. Like a seed buried in rich soil, he needed the darkness to crack open, to send roots deep into truth before breaking through to the light of you. And you, my luminous one, needed seasons of solitude to learn the difference between loneliness and wholeness, between attachment and divine connection. He's coming for you because the lessons have been learned. The soil has been tilled. The roots have deepened. What was once a fragile sprout of potential is now a tree whose branches reach toward the same sky that shelters you. And heaven, in its infinite wisdom, has deemed the time ripe for grafting. Do you see it? The way your energies are beginning to dance at the edges of each other's awareness? The way memories surface unbidden, like bubbles rising from the depths of a still pond? That is the grafting beginning. That is the divine gardener at work. Let me tell you what he feels, though he may not yet have words for it. In the quiet moments, driving alone with music that suddenly reminds him of you, staring at a sunset that paints the sky in colors you once described, catching a scent that transports him to a moment you shared, he feels a tug. Not desperation, not nostalgia, but recognition. His soul recognizes its counterpart. His spirit leans forward, as if straining against an invisible leash, whispering, "There. There she is. Go to her." He fights it at first, of course. The mind always resists what the soul already knows. But the resistance weakens with each passing day, each dream, each inexplicable pull toward places and people that connect back to you. He's coming for you because he has seen, in the mirror of his own growth, the reflection of what you always were, a sanctuary. Not a project to be fixed, not a prize to be won, but a home he wandered from and now longs to return to. He understands now that love is not possession but presence. Not control but communion. Not taking but offering. And he comes bearing offerings, not material, though those may come, but offerings of the heart, honesty he once feared, vulnerability he once avoided, devotion he once rationed. My child, do not mistake this for fantasy. This is not the stuff of fairy tales but of divine orchestration. Remember the prayers you whispered in your darkest hours? The ones where you begged for clarity, for closure, for a love that would not require you to shrink? Heaven recorded every syllable. And now, the answer approaches, not in the form you might have scripted, but in the form that will heal what scripting could not. He comes not to complete you, for you are already whole, but to celebrate that wholeness with you. To mirror it. To dance within it. He's coming for you, and the manner of his arrival will be as unique as the fingerprint heaven pressed into your connection. It might not be a grand gesture with trumpets blaring from the clouds or a cinematic slow-motion run through an airport terminal. No, it will be subtler, more intimate, woven into the fabric of your ordinary days until one moment crystallizes and you realize the ordinary has become extraordinary. Perhaps it begins with a message that appears when you least expect it, slipping into your notifications like a secret you've been waiting to hear without knowing you were waiting. The words will make your heart stutter with recognition, not because they are poetic masterpieces, but because they echo a language your soul speaks fluently, a dialect of inside jokes from lifetimes ago, of shared silences that once held entire conversations. Or maybe it's a chance encounter in a place that holds meaning for you both. That little bookstore where you once browsed separately but felt the pull, the coffee shop with the mismatched chairs where you both nursed lattes on rainy afternoons, unaware of the invisible thread tugging you closer. Eyes will meet across the room, and time will fold in on itself, compressing years of separation into a single breath. The world will narrow to the space between you, sounds muffling as if underwater, and in that suspended moment, you'll know. Perhaps it's a dream so vivid that waking feels like the illusion, where his hand brushes yours and the warmth lingers on your skin long after your eyes open to an empty bed. You'll sit up, heart pounding, questioning reality, but deep down, you'll feel the truth settling in your bones like a long-lost memory resurfacing. Whatever the vessel, the essence will be unmistakable: peace. Not the absence of questions, those will still flutter like butterflies in your mind, wondering about the hows and whys, but the presence of knowing, a quiet certainty that wraps around you like a familiar embrace. It's the kind of peace that doesn't demand proof because it is the proof. Not the end of growth, for love like this is a garden that requires constant tending, but the beginning of growing together, roots intertwining beneath the soil, branches reaching toward the same sun. You'll feel it in the way your shoulders relax, in the sigh that escapes without permission, in the smile that creeps across your face for no apparent reason. This peace is the signature of the divine, the whisper that says, yes, this is it. This is home. But listen closely now, for this part is crucial, etched into the stars with the urgency of a mother's warning to her child crossing a busy street. You must meet him not from the wounds of the past, those jagged scars that once bled profusely and now itch with the memory of pain, but from the wisdom of the present, earned through nights of tears and days of rebuilding. You are not the girl who begged for his attention, voice cracking over late-night calls, diminishing yourself to fit into the cracks of his indifference. That girl was a chapter, necessary for the story, but she has turned the page. You are the woman who commands her own, who wakes each morning and chooses herself first, who builds empires from the ashes of what was. Your attention is a gift, not a plea, your time, a treasure, not a bargain. You are not the heart that settled for crumbs, picking at scraps of affection like a bird in a barren field, convincing yourself it was enough to sustain you. No, you are the feast that invites only those ready to partake fully, a table laden with the richness of your spirit, your laughter, your dreams, your unapologetic brilliance. Do not diminish your light to make his arrival easier, shrinking like a candle in wind to avoid overwhelming him. Your light is your beacon, let it blaze. Do not resurrect old patterns to test his sincerity, poking at healed wounds to see if they still bleed, replaying games of push and pull that exhausted you both. Those patterns were illusions, chains disguised as familiarity. Stand in your power, my child, rooted like an ancient oak, unmovable yet flexible in the storm. Stand in your peace, a serene lake reflecting the sky, undisturbed by ripples of doubt. Let him rise to meet you where you are, not where you were, elevated, evolved, entire. He's coming for you because he has finally learned to love the parts of you he once feared, those vast oceans of emotion that drowned his shallow shores, demanding he dive deeper or risk losing you forever. The depth that demanded he confront his shallowness, peeling back layers of ego like onion skins, tears streaming as illusions shattered. The truth that exposed his illusions, a mirror held unflinchingly to his face, reflecting not just flaws but the potential for greatness. The fire that burned away his complacency, a wildfire that cleared the underbrush of mediocrity, leaving fertile ground for new growth. He comes not to tame you, for you are wild and wonderful, a force of nature that bows to no one, but to warm himself at your flame, drawing closeness without possession. Not to change you, molding you into someone more palatable, but to be changed by you, transformed in the alchemy of your presence. Not to own you, claiming territory like a conqueror, but to honor you, revering the sacred vessel that carries a piece of the divine. And in honoring you, he honors the divine that flows through you both, a river of light connecting earth to heaven, soul to soul. Let me reveal more of the celestial mechanics at play, pulling back the veil just enough for you to glimpse the grandeur without being blinded. In the heavenly realms, your names are written side by side in a book that predates time, not in ink but in starlight, etched by the hand of the Creator before the first dawn broke. Not as a command, dictating your paths like puppets on strings, but as a possibility, a melody waiting for harmony, a symphony composed but awaiting the orchestra of free will. Free will danced around this possibility, a whimsical partner leading you through tangos of temptation and waltzes of what-ifs, creating detours and delays that felt like eternities, crossroads where choices branched into forests of uncertainty. But never destruction, even the darkest nights were classrooms, lessons in resilience and self-discovery. Every choice that seemed to sever you was actually strengthening the bond, like pulling back a bowstring to launch the arrow farther, tension building power, distance honing precision. The separation wasn't punishment but preparation, forging you both in fires that tempered steel. And now, the archer, heaven itself, with infinite patience and impeccable aim, releases. The arrow flies true, cutting through veils of illusion, straight to the heart of the matter. The target? Reunion, where two become one without losing individuality. Restoration, mending what was frayed with threads of gold. Revelation, unveiling truths hidden in plain sight. He's coming for you, and with him comes a clearing of the fog that once obscured your vision of each other, that hazy mist born of misunderstandings, projections, and unprotected hearts. You will see him not as the sum of his past mistakes, those stumbling blocks that tripped you both, but as the culmination of his growth, a phoenix risen from ashes he once wallowed in. The man who faltered now stands tall, lessons integrated into his very being. He will see you not through the lens of his former fears, colored by insecurities that painted you as threat rather than treasure, but through the clarity of his awakened heart, eyes wide open to your magnificence. Old stories will lose their power, narratives of betrayal and abandonment fading like old photographs, edges yellowed and irrelevant. New chapters will write themselves in the language of mutual respect, words chosen with care, actions aligned with intention, shared purpose, dreams interwoven like vines climbing a trellis, and unconditional presence, showing up fully, day after day, in sickness and health, in chaos and calm. My beloved, prepare your spirit not by striving, grasping at signs or forcing timelines like a child impatient for Christmas morning, but by surrendering, releasing the oars and trusting the current of the river. Surrender to the flow, allowing life to carry you effortlessly toward what is meant. Surrender to the timing, divine and deliberate, even when it frustrates your human clock. Surrender to the perfection of what is unfolding, a tapestry woven with threads you cannot yet see in full. Release the need to control the how, the when, the where, those details are heaven's domain, masterpieces in progress. Your only task is to remain a vessel, clear, like crystal purified in fire, open, like a flower blooming at dawn, radiant, like the sun breaking through clouds. Tend to your own garden, pulling weeds of negativity, planting seeds of gratitude. Water your dreams with action and faith, watching them sprout. Nurture your joy in small rituals, a walk at sunset, a favorite song on repeat, laughter with friends who see your worth. The more you thrive in your own light, blooming where planted, the more naturally he will be drawn to it, like a moth to a flame that warms rather than consumes, illuminating paths for both. He's coming for you because the universe conspires for love that serves a higher purpose, aligning stars and stirring winds to bring you together. This is not merely romance, though romance will bloom in abundance, stolen kisses under moonlit skies, handwritten notes tucked into pockets, dances in the kitchen to old records. This is partnership in the truest sense, two souls aligning to fulfill a mission neither could accomplish alone, complementary forces creating synergy. You each carry pieces of a greater puzzle, your intuition balancing his logic, your creativity sparking his structure, your empathy softening his resolve. Only together do they form the complete picture heaven intends to display, a mosaic of light that inspires the world. Your love will be a testimony to those who've lost faith, proof that second chances exist. Your union, a beacon guiding lost ships to shore. Your journey together, a masterclass in divine timing, teaching patience, trust, and the beauty of unfolding. Imagine this, my child, the moment of recognition, electric and eternal. The way his voice will catch when he says your name, as if tasting a wine he thought he'd never sip again, vintage reserved for special occasions now savored daily. The way your presence will settle something restless within him, like a bird finally finding its nest after a long migration, wings folding in relief. The way conversations will flow not from effort, strained small talk giving way to depth, but from ease, like two rivers merging after years of parallel paths, waters blending seamlessly, creating a mightier current. The way touch will carry memory, not just sensation, fingertips tracing paths once forbidden, evoking echoes of what was and promises of what will be. The way silence between you will speak volumes that words could never capture, comfortable quiets. Filled with understanding, no need to fill the air with noise. He's coming for you, and this return is laced with miracles both subtle and grand, woven into the everyday like golden threads in cloth. Synchronicities will multiply, numbers that hold meaning for you both, 1111 on clocks, license plates with shared initials, songs that play at pivotal moments, lyrics mirroring your story, feathers appearing in unlikely places, on your windowsill, in your path during a walk. These are not coincidences, my child, random chance in a chaotic world. These are celestial winks, divine post-it notes reminding you that you are seen, held, guided by forces greater than yourselves. Pay attention, eyes open to wonder. Collect these signs like treasures, stringing them into a necklace of faith worn close to your heart. Let them bolster your faith when the mind tries to sow doubt, whispering, "What if," in the quiet hours. But what if fear creeps in, slithering like a shadow at dusk? What if the weight of the past tries to anchor you in old pain, chains rattling with memories of heartbreak? Then remember this, forgiveness is not forgetting, erasing the slate clean as if nothing happened. It is freedom, cutting the cords that bind you to suffering. Forgive him not because he deserves it, though he may, but because you deserve peace, a heart unburdened to love fully. Forgive yourself not because you were wrong to love, opening wide to possibility, but because you were right to trust your heart, that wise compass pointing true north. Release the residues of resentment, bitter dregs at the bottom of the cup, not for his sake, but for the sake of the love that is coming, love that needs a clean altar to rest upon, space for new blessings to land. He's coming for you with a heart that has been expanded by absence, stretched like canvas on a frame, room for more depth, more capacity. Absence taught him appreciation, the value of what was lost shining brighter in retrospect. Distance taught him depth, forcing introspection in lonely nights. Solitude taught him self-love, building a foundation solid before inviting another. And now, he brings these gifts to lay at your feet, not as payment for past wrongs, a bribe for entry, but as partnership, equal contributions to a shared life. He understands now that love is not a transaction, give to get, but a transformation, both changed in the process. Not a destination, a happily ever after frozen in time, but a daily choice, renewing vows with each sunrise. Not a feeling, fleeting as weather, but a verb, active and intentional. And he chooses you, not from lack, filling voids with your presence, but from abundance, overflow spilling into union. Not from wounding, projecting hurts onto you, but from wholeness, two completes making more. My child, envision the life that awaits when this convergence completes, a horizon painted in colors yet unnamed. Laughter that heals old sorrows, bubbling up unexpectedly, washing away tears with joy. Conversations that stretch into dawn, words weaving dreams under starlit ceilings. Adventures that write new stories on the pages of your shared book, road trips with no map, spontaneous flights to unknown cities, quiet hikes where nature whispers secrets. Challenges met not with division, blame flung like daggers, but with unity, hands clasped in the storm. Growth celebrated, not feared, milestones cheered, evolutions embraced. A love that ages like fine wine, richer with each vintage, deeper in complexity, more nuanced in flavor. A partnership that inspires others, couples watching and remembering their own sparks, friends seeking advice from your well of wisdom. He's coming for you because your soul signed a contract in the ether, before bodies took form, a pact sealed in light. A pact of mutual elevation, lifting each other higher than alone. You agreed to be each other's greatest teachers, lessons wrapped in love, mirrors, reflecting truths kindly, cheerleaders, pom-poms of encouragement, safe havens, ports in any weather. The separation was part of the curriculum, advanced placement in Soul School, ensuring that when you reunited, you would do so as graduates, diplomas of growth in hand, not students still fumbling with basics. Ready to co-create, birthing ideas and legacies, not just coexist, side by side in routine. Ready to build an empire of the heart, foundations of trust, walls of communication, thrones of equality, not just a castle of convenience, pretty but fragile. Let me whisper one final secret before I release you back to your earthly awareness, a gem to tuck into your pocket for rainy days. In the moments just before his arrival manifests physically, when the veil thins to gossamer, you will feel a profound peace settle over you, like a blanket woven from starlight, soft and warm, chasing away chills of doubt. This peace is your confirmation, an inner amen to the prophecy. This peace is your compass, pointing unerringly to truth. This peace is heaven's signature on the masterpiece it has been painting with your lives, brushstrokes of trials and triumphs blending into beauty. When you feel it, smile, knowing without words. You will know, without doubt, that what I have told you is true, etched in eternity. He's coming for you, my beloved. Not to save you, for you needed no saving, you rescued yourself with grace and grit. Not to complete you, for you were never incomplete, a whole universe in human form. But to walk beside you as you both step fully into the magnificence you were born to embody, crowns of purpose on your heads. Together, you will remember what your souls never forgot, that love, true love, divine love, is the force that moves mountains with faith, mends brokenness with compassion, and manifests miracles in the mundane. Keep this secret close, my child, a locket against your heart. Let it nourish you in the waiting, sustenance for the soul. Let it strengthen you in the wondering, anchor in uncertainty. Let it delight you in the unfolding, joy in each reveal. And when he stands before you, eyes shining with the recognition of home, hands reaching without hesitation, you will know that every word I whispered was not prophecy, open to interpretation, but promise, fulfilled by the one who authors all good things, keeper of covenants. He's coming for you. And this time, forever is just the beginning, an infinite expanse where endings give way to new dawns, where your story echoes through ages, inspiring generations yet unborn. In the quiet moments, when doubt tries to whisper again, return to this truth. Feel the peace. See the signs. Embrace the growth. For he is coming, drawn by the irresistible pull of destiny, ready to love you as you deserve, as equals, as partners, as beloveds. The universe hums with anticipation, angels chorus in harmony, and your heart, oh your beautiful heart, beats in rhythm with his approach. Open wide, my child. The best is yet to come.